I'll just share a quick story about myself and the company, and also like some of the learnings which could be useful. So my name is Pawan, co-founder and CEO of Skyroot, and in fact, like I was raised in Vizag, now growing the company in Hyderabad. And when I was growing up, in fact, like all parents in the Telugu states, my dad wanted me to get into an IIT. And in fact, I was a very bad student to start with. In fact, I used to have like very thick spectacles, but I used to be like one of the last people who used to come last in school. And slowly, I think somehow the passion grew, thanks to my teachers. And then from the last, somehow, end up being among the first to start with as a, went to high school, etc. And then studied, worked really hard, and then got into IIT, a dream of most, parents. And then after getting into, IIT, I was really exposed to the world of entrepreneurship, really understood that people can build companies from scratch. I was really fortunate to see a lot of entrepreneurs building India over decades. And in fact, I wanted to be an entrepreneur myself, but I, of course, had no clue at that point of time. So then, if you know, like most IITians, they prefer to go abroad. But then I realized that that's not my destiny. I want to stay in India, build for India, and keep myself rooted in India always. And then took the unconventional path. At that time, I had real passion for space and rockets. And ISRO came to campus, and then I thought, like, let me take this leap and join the space program. I was fortunate to join ISRO. I was as a scientist there. I was part of the space program. I was part of the team, which built India's largest rocket. And the same rocket actually launched Chandrayaan-3, which landed spacecraft on south pole of the moon, first time in the world. Had the great opportunity to be part of the fantastic India space program. And after working 6 years there, I realized that always this entrepreneurial bug bit me in college, and I wanted to build a company. And after seeing the world at the point of time, I felt there's a fantastic opportunity to build a great space company right from India. And then one fine day, I thought, like, just why can't we attempt at building, one of the biggest space companies in the world from India, and wanted to start the journey. And just like took the leap of faith, quit my job along with my co-founder Bharat. He was also, scientist at ISRO. We all joined together, and then quit our jobs, started Skyroot in 2018 at the age of 27. In fact, like, it sounded very audacious to everybody whom we spoke to, because, it was the domain of governments, and, people didn't think that people can really, a startup can really build rockets from India. But then I knew, because being part of the sector, I know that it is totally possible. Of course, it's not easy. Of course, it's a very ambitious goal. Took the leap of faith, started at a time in 2018, there was no funding environment in India. Nobody knew what is the space sector. And in 2018, there was no policy even, literally just you can't even launch a rocket to space at that point of time, because there was not even a policy for space sector. But still, we thought, like, give it all in. Probably it might take a decade for all stars to align. Took the leap of faith, started the company, and it didn't even know what is equity. Didn't even know how to raise capital. Didn't know literally anything about building a company. Learned everything through the internet. Learned everything through talking to other entrepreneurs, and then started the company. We are fortunate to have some really visionary investors backing us. In fact, the initial investments happened over LinkedIn messages, to people. In fact, one message went to Mukesh Bansal, who built Myntra, CureFit. He wanted to meet us next day, and then he wrote a 10 crore check. That's how the journey started. Then after a year or two, then met Anil and Mahesh, founders of Greenco, based in Hyderabad. In fact, Hyderabad also gave us a lot of capital, gave us the growth of the company, and also a lot of initial capital. They are also like really visionaries who built one of the largest renewable energy company. And then, so they backed our journey initially, and the first 100 crores were raised even before even the policy came in. even before the very, very early phase of the company, thanks to the amazing visionaries who backed the journey in the initial phase. And then after that, the policy kicked in. The government announced that the sector is open to private players. Because we started early, made great progress. We became the first beneficiaries of the space reforms. And then we created history on November 18, 2022, by launching India's first private rocket to space. And that journey has been really, really path-breaking for me personally, and also for the entire space industry, because at that point of time, nobody thought a private company can build such deep tech, I mean, literally rocket science, put towards a team, build cutting-edge tech, and then actually get to the launch pad and launch a rocket to space. In the entire world, probably, a single-digit companies were even able to even get to the launch pad and launch a rocket to space. And we also did that in a record time of just 2 years from design to launch. And then that's just the beginning of our journey. And then, lot of investment interest went, because that showed the potential of an Indian startup thinking big. And we were able to raise close to $100 million of capital, and we'll be raising few hundred more, this year, hopefully. And, one of the emerging as one of the largest space tech players globally. And in fact, we have three factories as we speak, 3 factories in Hyderabad. Our recent factory was inaugurated by none other than the Honorable Prime Minister. It shows the kind of impact, even the kind of encouragement from the government to see real deep tech come to life in India. And in fact, so one of the key things which gave confidence to me in 2018 when I started the company, when literally nothing was there in the space sector at that point of time, was, I think, the fundamental building blocks. India is, I think, a land of phenomenal talent. We have 1.5 million engineers passing out every year, and we have some of the best infrastructure for space. We have an island dedicated for launching very close to the equator. We have a 6-decade-old space program. India went to the moon, went to Mars. We had a phenomenal, industrial ecosystem available in the country. In fact, the next rocket which we're going to launch is 7-storied building tall, all built in Hyderabad, 100% designed in India, and 95% by value built in India. Just imagine something as deep as a rocket, almost everything designed in India, and the import quotient is less than 5%. So that's I think the potential of India for you, especially in deep tech sector. And that's where I think we were able to see great progress going forward. And the next rocket which we're going to launch has 400 suppliers, all from India. I think that's the kind of ecosystem we have in the country. And today we started in 2018 with a very small room with just 10 people in a co-working space. And now we crossed 1,000 people. We have 3 factories. We just bought 300 acres land close to the launch site. We're going to build one of the world's largest space tech campuses out of there, from India, and Space City in India. And I think the journey just starts there. So now in the next 2 months, we're planning to launch India's first private commercial rocket, Vikram 1. And that's going to put satellites into orbit. And from then on, the target is to do a launch every quarter, then every week. Then the ambition is to do multiple launches a day eventually, And the moment we do launches this year as planned, probably will be among the 5 companies in the world doing it, with most other companies being close to 20-year-old, and we're just a 7-year-old company. So that also shows that when we started the company, literally we had no clue. I mean, the odds, if you would have seen the odds of success, you would have seen almost 0. And thanks to all our supporters, investors, government, and all our employees who gave their life in building the company over the last 7 years. So thanks to all of them, that all stars aligned over the years, and we were able to do what we're doing. But still, as I mentioned, it's just the beginning of our journey. The future, I strongly believe the next frontier is space. So in fact, what today You see like in aircrafts, it connects entire Earth today. 100 years ago, it was, it was just beginning of the technology, and space was also in the very beginning phases right now. We'll see a future where going to space becomes as easy as like hopping onto a flight. We'll see like many people in our generation go to space, maybe for a holiday, or like, launch millions of satellites to space. Recently, Elon announced they're going to launch millions of satellites to train AI in space, because the lowest cost of compute will be in space. I think space is clearly the next frontier for communication, for training AI, for human presence in space, for building materials in space. Space is the next frontier, and I think as civilization, the next big thing is to expand beyond Earth and become a multifaring species. And this is going to happen in the coming decades to happen. And the core technology to build is economic, very reliable rockets launching hundreds of times a day. And that's going to transform lives like never before. In the next 5 to 10 years, billions of people will get connected with high-speed internet directly from space. As we speak, already several tens of millions of people are getting connected with high-speed internet from space, thanks to SpaceX, Amazon, etc., etc. And I think next 10 years is going to be transformational. And then hopping onto your rocket, going to space becomes very, very regular. And that's our mission at Skyroot, to make space accessible to everyone, where we call it like our dream is to open space for all. And one day we see that probably all of you will go to space. And so this is like the broad vision, and this is our goal as a company, and we are super busy making it happen step by step. And as I mentioned, this is just like very, very early beginnings of our company. And so core messages from our journey, which could be useful. I think one is never go with the flow. For example, I could have gone out of India, chosen a very cushy job outside, in the US or etc. But I chose to remain in India, like cut the, take a different path than what it was at that point of time. And also like chose joining government job out of an IIT is also like pretty rare. Just followed my passions and then made it happen, and then that made the journey of Skyroot possible. I think just follow the passions, never go with the flow, I think is one strong message. And always a strong believer of thinking and doing something really big, because the effort in doing something even much smaller, or the effort in doing something extraordinarily big is the absolute same. We just have 24 hours in a day. And in fact, many people think the odds of success will reduce if you start off doing something very, very big, because, it is extremely tough to win in a very big, in doing something very audacious. But I think it's actually the opposite. The probability of success increases if you take up something big. If something aligned to your passion, do the next big thing in your area of interest. I think that will increase the odds of success, because people would love to invest in you, people would love to work with you, governments would love to support you. So all the positive energy comes together, and the odds of success actually becomes opposite. It increases the chances of success. And the other thing is like persist despite odds. Of course, the challenge, building a company is 2-3 decades journey, and there will be a lot of ups, several downs. And I think it's very, very important to persist despite all odds. We had so many challenges building the talent, building the tech, so many challenges raising capital, etc. Because we are charting on uncharted territories. So that's bound to happen. So we always persisted and put things together and made things happen. So I think, and a lot more to come. We will have much more challenges coming up in the coming decades. And I think with this, sky is definitely no limit in India. Sky is no limit for building extraordinary tech from India, and also like entrepreneurship is very, very fulfilling. I urge like potential entrepreneurs here who want to start their own companies to just step out, start something. The moment you step out, it's already like 50% done, and then always think big, start the next big thing, and then persist to make it happen. Thanks a lot for your attention, and really wonderful to have all of you and speak in this forum. Thank you.
So we're not letting him go as yet, Pawan. This is the first time I've seen all of us just listening to your story, right? I mean, very attentive, knowing getting to know what's happening, Ekam. So I will give a chance for a couple of questions to the team here to ask Pawan as well. By the time that question comes in, जो नहीं किया वही तो करना है. That was a great thing that you did in 2018, Pawan. We are so proud. I actually started having goosebumps.